Welcome to another episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Corporations. Today we actually could have had some good news. This article suggests that Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster could be coming by the end of October, which is great. The Horizon games are great. Everyone loves those. But obviously we can't have corporations do something nice, so it obviously has to come with bad news. The new Horizon game is going to require PSN, as in you cannot play the game unless you have a PSN account. And, as if that's not bad enough, they've actually gone and retroactively removed the actual original Horizon games to make room for the new remaster from PC. As in, if you go to Steam or Epic, you will not be able to access the game. It will either redirect you to the home website where they tell you that you won't be able to download the game, or on Epic, it's just listed as unavailable now. So they've retroactively gone back and gotten rid of the original game. So anyone who already owns the game, good for you. Luckily, you can continue playing as far as anyone knows. Anyone who wanted to buy the game but just hadn't yet, rough. You're not getting it now. You either buy the remaster or you suck it up. That's what Sony's basically saying. And since someone without a PSN account cannot play, that essentially means that if you're in a country that does not have PSN access or isn't whitelisted by PlayStation, by Sony, you can't play regardless. Either you use a VPN to relocate yourself to another country internet-wise, which is against Sony's terms of service, literally a violation of their terms of service, which means anyone in a country who isn't whitelisted by Sony cannot touch this game, which is the whole point of people buying PCs, so they have more access to games. So they're retroactively pushing back PC players. They're actively harming their own audience for some reason. Now, many people will liken this back to Helldivers 2. The backlash from when Sony tried to force PSN onto everyone playing and actively blacklisted several countries, several dozen countries. People review bombed that game into the nether dimension. 200,000 plus negative reviews on Steam alone. Obviously, after that, Sony dropped the requirement, but the idea of forcing PC gamers to have to use an account dedicated to a console is frankly ridiculous. The entire purpose of a PlayStation Network account is to connect your PlayStation to the internet, not your computer. And obviously, there's only going to be one reason to forcefully mandate using a PlayStation Network account. Data harvesting, obviously. Sony can't harvest your data if you're not using one of their accounts. And if they can, it's going to be a lot harder. They want you to use their account so that they have easy access to your data so they can sell it. As if it's not good enough for them to just earn money off of the game. They have to make you buy the game, which, according to them, you don't even own, so they can take it back whenever they please. And to top it off, they're also going to sell your data to whoever asks nicely. Like, I get that in the modern era, privacy is seen as like a friggin' luxury at this point. No one even cares about privacy anymore, but this is ridiculous. Typical corporate greed, destroying everyone's entertainment. The remaster, obviously, they're forcing the PSN requirement, typical, but the removal of the previous games from all PC accessible engines just screams malice. It's so malicious. They're actively spitting on the people who make them what they are. They are nothing without people buying their games. They are nothing without the support of the people. And yet they're constantly forcibly bringing harm to their entire consumer base. What is someone who plays on PC going to do if they just don't like PlayStation? What is someone on PC going to do if they just don't have a PlayStation? Like, what's the point? All the Sony seems to want is to either force you to buy a PlayStation or force you to have a connected PSN account to whatever platform you play on, be that Epic or Steam. It's a nonsensical requirement, realistically. It's very cut and dry what PlayStation is trying to do here. They're either trying to forcibly increase sales of the PlayStation, and obviously you've seen what the PS5 Pro is, the absolute disaster of a console. They're either trying to force people to buy the PS5 Pro or the PS5, or they're just trying to force people to use PSN to harvest their data. Either way, it's a terrible idea, and it's only going to harm them in the long run. If people actually stand by their pride, if people actually maintain pride and vote with their pockets, vote with their wallets, and refuse to buy anything Sony. My recommendation, my suggestion, don't touch anything Sony made. You really want a PS controller? Buy friggin' second hand or buy aftermarket. You're on a PlayStation, just don't bother. Get a computer, get an Xbox. Don't support Sony. They're showing you how much they dislike you. They're showing such disdain for their own consumer base, their own audience. Show them what it means to disrespect those who give them an industry. Frankly, it's ridiculous, but that's all I had to say. Take care.